Happy Earth Day. I was thinking about it, and I have to say, I think that this is like the best Earth Day that she has ever had, at least in the last century or so. Um, we've all been in quarantine, we've all been a bit isolated, we haven't been able to go out and enjoy the beaches or the parks or anything, but the upside of that, I would definitely really say, is that Mother Earth has had this beautiful opportunity to just breathe and to just do her thing without so much treading from humans. None of us are flying, none of us are driving. So it's just so nice to see Mother Earth getting that breath of fresh air. And I went for a walk yesterday, and I saw so many little animals out. There's these little ducks that have made their way to the pool in the complex where I live, and they were just sitting at that pool like they were really owning the place. It's amazing. So nature wins, right? Nature wins all the time. So in honor of that, let's just be grateful that Mother Earth is getting a little bit of a break from holding all of us up quite so much. So if we can just give back to her in this time and with our intentions and with our hearts as we practice, I think that's a wonderful thing that we can do. So we're going to get into this, and we're going to make it just about like 55 minutes or so. And at the end, I'll leave you guys just enjoy your Shavasana on your own. Sound good? Cool, I'm so excited to be doing this live class on the Toe Socks account. Yay, Mother Earth. All right, so we'll start on the mat, and if you by chance have some yoga props for your home studio, wonderful. If not, it's not a huge deal, but we'll just do our best. So take a seat. I've elevated myself up onto this folded blanket, just a little bit more comfy. And I get that little bit of boost to help lift the spine out of the hips and take some pressure out of those lower joints. So roll your hands, or roll your tissue flesh out from underneath your sits bones with the help of your hands. And then use them to also create a little internal rotation for the thighs. Get grounded. Feel that earth element and that earth energy really present in the lower half of your body. Your root is the base of your pelvis. So it's just slightly ahead of your sits bones. Draw down, and from that stable root and connection to the earth, rise up. Just like a springtime flower blossoming up and out of the earth through the top of the head. You can gaze to a point, you can close your eyes if you prefer. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, the face. And you can think of yourself here now as a globe, as a sphere, as the earth yourself. You can really breathe from your center into your circumference. So from the inside out. Inhale, expand. And exhale, contract. Inhale, expand. Bottom to top. And exhale, contract. Top to bottom. Find a steady rhythm that you can cultivate here in your seat. And throughout the yoga practice, we tap into a lot of these different cycles, which really align to the natural cycles of the earth. So you can feel that rising energy of inhale, that's spring, all the way up to peak, summer. And then exhale, it falls down, autumn, all the way to the bottom, you're empty, winter. Use your imagination to deepen your embodiment. Feel this natural pulse of your body, expanding, contracting. This is the natural pulse of the universe, spanda. In and out, up and down, rise and fall, ebb and flow. And this is a rhythm that will guide you through your practice, that helps to remind you you are connected to yourself and to something greater nature, Mother Earth. Let's tune into one more pulsing rhythm, vibration of the body and of the earth. Put a hand on the heart and then your other hand on top of that so you can literally feel your heart beating. So vibrant, beating into your hands from underneath your chest. Vigorous with life. Just like Mother Earth right now. And then just remember that you are held. The universe holds you. Mother Earth supports you and meets all your needs. So can we be grateful? And can we put more effort and intention into giving back? And at least to just showing a full respect and reverence for Mother Earth, for the environment, for the climate. And we take responsibility for all our own personal actions that accumulate and contribute to the taking care of our home. It's personal and it's a collective duty. So just remember, like this challenging time, we're all in it together. So I invite you to join me to open this practice. Cleansing breath and a round of Om to chant. So Om is the primordial sound of the universe. And we can tap into it with our voice to help us remember our own connection to that something greater, that something bigger. And so that we can really also own the power of our individual voices. And know that when they come together, they're even more potent. So right now we'll just be coming together on the stream. Go to the bottom of your breath. You take a giant inhale. Full body exhale. Breathe in for Om. Inhale, open your arms out wide. Like you're going to encircle the entire earth. Give it a giant hug. Open those arms. Willing to receive, willing to open up into what's ahead, into new experiences, into an even more conscious relationship to self, to each other, to the environment, the global community, to each other. Big inhale. Exhale, round your back body as you wrap your right arm on top of your left and contract. So now you're giving that love in into yourself. And when you really give yourself love and care, that's when you can best give it to others. So inhale, open up, arms wide. Lift your heart, lift your chin a bit. Exhale, opposite arm on top as you contract. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, switch arms on top for each pulsing set. So allowing the breath to guide you. Inhale, arms open wide. Big hug for the earth. Exhale, wrap it into your own self. Keep breathing from your center into your circumference. It's a never-ending cycle. Give and take. Effort and ease. Masculine and feminine. So if the masculine is the sun, and the feminine is the moon, what's the earth? The earth is the divine mother. Let's go one more set. Inhale, open it up. Taking another full breath all the way into the tops of the lungs. And exhale, release your hands to your sides. Take a breath in your seat and get ready to come to tabletop on all fours. And then extend your right leg out to the side from your hip. So we're going to really pay attention to our foundation because that's really where the earth element resides in the practice. So it's really that lower half of the body or the part of you that's connected to the earth. So make sure that your bottom knee is directly underneath your hip. And then that extended leg to the side is really truly lateral. Inhale, rise up. Reach up. Exhale, over to your right for a side body stretch. And we'll do this in a little bit of a pulse, just finding some strength through the core. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale to gate pose. If you want to add a little more fire into this, inhale up like you're holding a big globe overhead. Exhale, take it over to the side. Pulsing for another 5. Keep your head nice and even between your shoulders. Draw your tailbone down and back behind you. So if you put your pelvis into a clock face or a clock face into your pelvis with your imagination, you'd be aiming that tailbone down and back to 6 o'clock and sending your pubic bone forward to 12. Right hip at 3, left hip at 9. Next time you get lateral, hold it. And follow the right side of your chest a little bit up, so there's just a slight semblance of a twist in your mid-upper back. And then flip your top palm and bind the wrist with your bottom hand. So just get a little extra contact with yourself to pull over into the side stretch. Maintain the flow of your breath. Another 2. Inhale. Rise, reach the arms up. Exhale, take your arms out to the sides. And then this left arm now is coming all the way down to the mat. Or if you have a block, you can prop it up onto a block. Shoulder over wrist. Send your top arm up. Now lift your top leg, or your right leg rather, and then kick the heel to the seat. Top hand back to reach for the ankle or the top of the foot. Pull the heel in toward the outer hip, and that's going to get the stretch right into the belly of the quad, as well into the hip flexor, focusing on that lower part. Soften your bottom left elbow just so you know you're not hyper extending the joint, leaving a little bit of space for energy to flow from your wrist to your shoulder and into your heart. For one more breath. And release. Send it back down. Use your core strength to help you inhale. Rise up. And then exhale down to all fours so you can switch sides. For gate posture, Parigasana. And now to rise. Put that clock face into your pelvis. Use your imagination to embody that. Exhale, pulsing side stretch. Inhale up. Exhale over to your left. You continue to flow with the breath. More challenge in the core. Hold the globe overhead and take it with you. Feel a nice toning at the top of your left thigh and that extended leg to the side. A few more. For 2, keep the head even between your shoulders. So plenty of space between that bottom ear and shoulder. Hold. Flip the top palm, find the wrist, and give it a little extra tug over. Maintain a neutral pelvis, flowing breath, and let that heart sing up and out. And feeling into your roots. One more breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale, send your arms out, east and west. And then bring it all the way down. You can be here on your fingertips, your palm, or you could incorporate a block. Top arm up. Lift your extended left leg. And then bend the knee like you're going to kick your own butt with your heel. So you can reach back, make contact, and keep the proximity of the heel to the outer hip, and that's what's going to really help to target the belly of the quadricep muscle group, as well into your psoas, or hip flexor. Micro bend the bottom elbow. Make sure you can feel a nice grounding through the inner wrist point, all up to the base knuckle of the pinky and the fourth finger, and the outer wrist to the base of the thumb and the index. In the center of the wrist to the middle finger base knuckle joint. And that's a pattern you can always follow just with your awareness when your weight is being bore on your hands. Just that you know that you're really properly using your foundation, like a plug in a socket, and a really good current of energy from one joint all the way up the chain. 2 more breaths. Give those shoulder blades a nice squeeze back. And then now to release. Use your core strength to come on up. And then bring it back down. Find your table. Take a breath. Walk your hands forward a bit from your table. So if you started with your wrists under your shoulders, you take them a little bit ahead. A little bit of a spread through the fingers, doesn't have to be too wide. Don't want to spread yourself too thin. You want to save the resources for when you really need it. Tuck the toes and exhale, lift the hips up to find downward dog. And immediately just take your doggy for a walk. Make your doggy happy. Move some energy. Let it explore. Investigate. Clear out the cobwebs. Make a nice good sweep your whole interior with your breath. And then when you land yourself to find a more actively still pose, keep a supple bend through the knees so that your tail is the peak of the posture, and your belly and your heart are drawing back towards your legs. With your gaze down and a little bit forward on the mat so that your upper arms frame your ears. And this is really great for your neck alignment. Also helps to keep the chin off the chest so the breath can flow from the heart into your communication center. Feel the energy and the element of earth in your legs. Really nice and heavy and dense. Activate your thigh muscles. Send your inner thighs back. Drip your heels down toward the mat without having to reach. Preferably, actually, don't have any wrinkles on the front of your ankles. And again, that's just going to help keep your tail as the peak of the pose. Soften the ribs in a bit. Melt that midpoint on your back towards your spine when you cross-reference from right hip to left shoulder and left hip to right shoulder, where that X marks the spot. Just feel that connection there. And take a nice deep breath. We got one more. And then bring your knees down wide. Bring your big toes together. Child's pose. I would say this is one of the really quintessential earthy postures of yoga. So you're literally bowing to the earth, and it's like an act of reverence, really. So you can soften down, having your hips nice and anchored to your heels. And I like to incorporate blocks in this posture because it just helps me to have a little more volume in the torso, helps me to breathe a little better into the back body. Also really just helps me to feel supported. So you're welcome to try that. One block under the chest, one under the forehead. With your arms stretched out, mount onto your fingertips. Take a few breaths into your kidney band, in between your ribs, the back of the heart, and all across the collarbones. Remember, you are a sphere. You literally are the earth, like a globe, and you can breathe from your center into your circumference. You can mediate all the polarities right at the center of yourself, at your own heart. Where you feel and where you know, deep down, what the right action to take is. Whatever the situation. Inhale, make your way up and out of child's posture. Let's come back to downward facing dog. Feel your weight in the balls of your feet and in the balls of your hands. You can even soften your fingertips slightly up and off the mat for a little moment. Inhale, send your right leg up to three-legged dog, maintaining your hips on the clock face. And exhale, curl your knee into your navel just one time, working towards high plank, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, step it through to lunge. Light on your fingertips as you engage your inner thighs to the midline. And the tailbone's going back to 6. Pubic bone's going forward to 12. Really accelerate your weight into the ball of your front foot and inhale, come up. Reach up. High crescent lunge. And we'll take this immediately into a little bit of a flow. So on the exhale, bend your elbows out to the sides. Hover your back knee as your palms start to press down in front of your body. And then sweep them forward and up as you inhale, extend, lift to the peak of your lunge. Exhale, lower, hands like a French press, extracting all that goodness. Inhale up, spring to summer. Peak sun at the top. Exhale, fall to winter. Rain down. Inhale. Fire coming up as you effort, as you engage, as you reach. Exhale. Grace. Raining down as you soften and connect with the earth. 2 more times. Last one. Hover it for a breath. And then ground your back knee all the way and take your hands to your heart center. Put your hips back up on the clock. Keep accelerating into the ball of your front foot. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, rotate to the right. And once you've found your max rotation, you've got some options. You can open your arms out to the sides like a T. Or you can take your left elbow to hook on the outside of your right thigh. And then connect your hands in prayer. Push your top hand into your bottom. And lift off of that root of your bottom elbow. Create some nice space as you twist. You can stay here. You can elevate your back knee. Keep your collarbones nice and broad. And aim the crown of your head all the way across the room, opposite you. For another 2 full breaths. And slowly unwind as you inhale, plant your palms, press right back to downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Feel the connection on the central spit of your body between your hips and your ribs. Between your heart and your throat center. Exhale, step it through. So secure your base. You feel really strong and held together with your muscle energy. Front knees over the ankle. Hips are on the clock. Heart centered between the back and the front. And continue to accelerate into the ball of your front foot. Big inhale, reach, efforts. Exhale, hover your back knee, and like a French press, press your palms down, 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 down. And then swoop them. Inhale, forward and up, extend. Exhale, lower, hover. Find a point of focus with your gaze to help you concentrate and to just really help you stay in the flow of this. We'll do a few more. 3, 2, 1. And then last one, you get to hold it at the bottom for an extra little moment. Hold steady, hold your ground. Be strong in your sense of self. Holding boundaries. Release your back knee. Take your hands to your heart. Woo. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, rotate to your left, twist. So you can be right here, arms out. Or you can keep your prayer and then hook your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. And then rather than just like collapsing, right? When you use that foundation then to rise up and off of. So aim your thumb towards your sternum while you keep engaging your inner thighs to the midline so that your right hip's still at 3 and your left hip at 9. We'll clock. Your choice to add a little more fire, elevate the back knee. Feel the firing up of strength in your back leg and in your glutes. Another 2, belly breaths. Inhale to unwind. Come back to downward dog. Take a few breaths there. While I open my window, I just built some good heat. How you doing, party people? Yeah, think of this action in your body like a wave. Inhale, heels rise up. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat. So first you land your knees. Then you really shift your weight forward onto your hands to place your heart down between your thumbs, chin to the top. And once you get here, really melt your heart into the earth. Let it hold you up. And bring your fingertips like little spiders out to the sides with your elbows up. Lengthen your tail back. Find that 6 o'clock position a little more. And then lift and tone your low belly. And that's going to help you feel the pubic bone going forward to 12. 2 more breaths. And then inhale. Come all the way onto your belly. Send your toes back and keep your hands wide. Press down into all 10 toenails with your inner thighs spiraling up, your tailbone lengthening back. Inhale, lift your chest. Cobra. And exhale to wave it down. So we'll do a few pulsing. Just reminding us that nature is always in flux. Never static. Always in cycle. Always changing, evolving, repeating. And that's a lesson that we can really take from the earth, from nature. change, growth, shift. We're just always a part of the equation. We use our yoga to know that in a deep sense. And knowing that to take the right skilled action to move forward in true service of self and others and the earth. 2 more pulsing cobras. One more, crescendo it all the way up to the top of the head. There's your peak of the wave. And then exhale, let it come down. Take a full breath. And bring your hands into the sides of your chest. Press yourself back to your child's posture. Feel the counter stretch in your lower back. And return to downward facing dog. Meet your feet and your hands at the center of your mat. And keep your hips, or your feet rather, hips width distance apart by measuring out the length of 2 fists together on the center of the inner arches. And then rock some weight from your heels to the balls of your feet. And have your hands on your blocks, if you have them, or on the mat, just to be able to rock your weight a little bit. And then essentially, you really just want to find your center, which is the inner arches. You should feel a nice energy lifting up through your legs into your hips, helping to pour your pelvic bowl forward, down, and out. And take advantage of the force of gravity. Decompress your spine, invert. And all those facial muscles relax. And 2 more breaths. You can stay really earthbound and heavy. Bend your knees a lot. Roll yourself up. 1 vertebra at a time. And at the very top, roll your shoulders a couple times. Up, back, and down. Open your palms, close your eyes, and take a breath in mountain pose. Just bring into your roots and that steady center that you can hold. No matter what's going around on the outside, you hold the steady center. And you direct your own experience based off that. It's like a mountain, slowly changing over time. Although in our own personal lifetime, it doesn't really seem to change at all. It just holds strong. So remember, it's okay to go slow. Mountains are extremely slow, but they are the most powerful. And that's a good lesson we can all take away from this quarantine for sure. Inhale, send the arms all the way up. Exhale, from your hip joints, fold forward. So you can accelerate forward in space on the way down into the balls of the feet, and then take an inhale to half lift. Lengthen the spine, halfway back up. Keep your hands under your shoulders or on your outer shins. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. 1 more. Exhale, fold forward. Turn your toes out and squat down. And you can take your feet really as wide as you need in order to keep the heels as grounded as possible. You can also incorporate a block underneath your sits bones. Sometimes it's just nice to have contact with something. And that doesn't mean you necessarily dump all your weight into the block and then like round your back like that. You use the block to support you in finding better alignment. So knees wide, heart center forward and up. So you can even maybe feel a bit of that natural lumbar curve in your spine, and you can bring some of it back into the pose. Open up those hips. Two more breaths. And inhale, come back to your feet into standing forward bend. Parallel feet. This time you can bring your big toes all the way to touch, leave just a little bit of a sliver between your heels. Inhale, find that length through your spine from your root to your crown. Half lift. And exhale, fold forward. Once again to roll up. And take a full breath again in mountain posture. Okay, what would an Earth Day practice be without a tree pose? You feeling me? Put your weight into your left foot and open your right knee to the side. So tree can really be done in a number of ways. So feel free to take the version that lights you up today. Inner ankle, inner calf. You can even have it at the inner knee. Just think of like a soft connection. No need to press too hard. Or you can help it up to your inner thigh. You can play with your half lotus variation if you like. Cross-reference that bottom foot, starting at your big left toe ball mount all the way to the opposite diagonal of the outer heel. And the pinky toe ball mount to the opposite diagonal of the inner heel. X marks the spot in the center. That's your arch. So that's that energy rising up through the leg, through the hip, through the left side of the torso. And then eventually all the way up through the branches, the leaves, the blossoms, the fruits of your tree. And if it's available to you up there, bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, and turn your palms up. Catch some little raindrops right above your crown. Fire up with the inhale effort. Squeeze, lift, lengthen. Rain down with the exhale. Use your grace as you settle in to your expression. Just find some enjoyment with it, even as you worked hard to hold the boundaries, to maintain the form. Make sure you can also find those moments of joy, of connection, of embodiment. And slowly come out. Bring your feet together for a breath. Switch sides. Vrikshasana, the tree. So you can determine the specific placement of the foot that suits you. Cross-reference the bottom foot. So you know you're really rooted. You're like a plug in a socket, penetrating those roots deep down into the earth so you can get a really good electrical current all the way up. Maintain that clock face in your pelvis as you come into your full form of the tree. Feel the muscles really lifting up on your standing leg through the sides of the body. Switch to interlacing the hands as you turn your palms upward, finding your full Vrikshasana. Check in with the breath. How's it going? Did you lose that three-dimensional quality? The circumference? Find it again. Because your breath, it's like the earth. We can neglect it, we can forget about it all the time. But there's no hard feelings, there's no grudge, right? And really that's like your yoga practice too. You can move away from your yoga practice for quite some time, and just no matter what, it's always going to be there for you when you come back to it. Same way as your respect for the earth, the connection to your conscious breathing. Couple more. The earth is like our best teacher on how to forgive, how to hold boundaries, and how to move forward, really open to possibility. And on being organic and go with the flow. So take your hands to your hips and open your legs out wide. Interlace your hands behind your back so you can open up the heart. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And keeping your legs nice and strong, exhale, tip forward. Send your arms over with you. Release the hands. Inhale, take a half lift from your wide stance. Pivot yourself to face forward on your mat. Right into half pigeon from here. So for like a moment, you're going to come back to that knee to navel position. And then rotate using the active strength of your hip to place your shin down on the mat. And it's going to be on a bit of a diagonal. Make sure your left leg straight back behind you. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale to come forward and down. And then similarly, you can prop yourself up like you did in the child's with your blocks. And then you really keep the focus of the alignment and the stretch in your hips. So you don't sacrifice the hips just to put your chest and your head down on the mat. You can also prop up underneath your right hip or underneath your whole pelvis, using a blanket perhaps. Take some deep breaths. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, three-legged dog, so you can roll this right side open. And we'll counter stretch and flush. And release back to dog. Lift your left leg up. Let's tone that core just a little bit on this side. Exhale, knee to the navel. Shoulders over your wrists like you're in plank. And inhale, send it back. Exhale, bring it through. Rotate it while it's still up in the air. That's your active range. You know that that's really a safe place to work your active stretch. Half pigeon. Put your hips on the clock. Use your inhale to create lots of length and space. Respecting your boundaries. Come on down. Inhale, make your way up and back. Last time into downward dog. And then the left leg can do its hip roll. Take a full breath. And one last time into your child's posture. I'm sure that I start winding this down. Okay. Hope you guys are feeling good. We're going to wind this down now. So let's take a seat. Thank you so much for all practicing along. This has been so nice to live stream on the Toe Socks page. Okay. So just finish up with an inhale, reach the arms overhead. And then exhale, take them back behind you so you can lift your hearts. Lift, lift, lift it. Take it all in, a couple more full breaths. And send your legs forward, lie on your back. Give yourself a final squeeze if you like, maybe a final happy baby, a final whatever you need. Use your inner wisdom, your intuition, your connection to yourself, just to know exactly what you need to finish up, to feel complete, and to really truly surrender into Shavasana, the corpse pose, on the earth, fully held up, no effort,